Hi guys, I'm Matt. Well, actually it's Matthias, but saying Matt is a lot easier in English. I started this channel a few weeks ago in order to make videos on Easter eggs in video games. And today I'm going to do a sort of review, but also Easter egg hunting on a game called Maneater. Or how they actually should have called it, trying to cram as much fish puns into a game simulator 2020. This game came out in May of this year, and if you're a poor person who has school or a job and doesn't have time for huge 100+ hour open world RPGs like The Witcher 3, even though I really still want to play that, please, it has been more than 5 years, give me a fucking break. Then this game might be just a solution for you. Clocking in around 14 hours to 100% this game. It doesn't take a lot of time, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's just dumb fun. So let's start at the beginning. Oh, and just so you know, there will be spoilers in this video. The story starts off with an introduction to the character Scaly Pete, and you directly take control of a full-grown bull shark. I don't want to talk a lot about the story because it's not that interesting, but let me do a quick summary. The shark you were playing as gets killed by Scaly Pete, but also turns out to be pregnant. Hooray! And you now actually play as its baby. Pete could have had a change of heart and let you live or take care of you now that you're an orphan shark, but instead he decides that you look way better with a huge gaping wound next to the shark tears on your shark cheeks. In return, you decide that if you can't have a mother, then Pete can't have a hand, so you bite his hand off, and a little later, you bite his leg off, and then you kill his son with fire. You both get a little sunburn, you bite him in the legs again, and then you both die. So 13 hours of grinding and finding shit to power up your shark has now been for nothing. Also, Scaly Pete has some friends, but they all suck, and one of them is called Dixon, which was way more funny to me than it should have been. The end. So apart from this pretty uninspired story, the game has actually some pretty nice gameplay. The controls are pretty clunky sometimes, especially during fights, but overall it's pretty decent. Most of the time things work the way they should work, and apart from that I don't think anyone expected the controls of a shark simulator to be as good as a Batman Arkham game. There were only two really frustrating things within the gameplay that I encountered. The first thing is that the shark sometimes suddenly has an urge to do backflips while you're in the air. The second thing is that this game has a mechanic to swim just underneath the surface with your fin out of the water like a real shark, which is nice of course. But sometimes during a fight you will automatically start sticking to the surface of the water, so now you lost your complete orientation and you're getting your ass handed to you by the scaly asshole who should have died millions of years ago.
Pity, that shark really popped on screen.
So you start this game off as a teeny tiny bull shark, and I hear you thinking, oh, when I was younger I always dreamt of being a great white shark or a hammerhead or a zandhai or something. And now in 2020 that dream can finally come true. Except the game says, haha, fuck you, you're a bull shark now and you can't be anything else. Should have stayed in shark school or something and become famous like your brother Bruce from Finding Nemo or something. Maybe then you could have become another, I don't know where this is going. So you can only be one shark, but there is some progression and evolution in this game. You'll soon start to notice that your shark is becoming quite thick and scaly, and then also bony, which is nice. Very, very nice. Also, when you progress through the game, you can become this electrical hentai smurf penis kind of shark, and if you find all landmarks, you become basically Batman if Batman was a shark. That asshole salamander on steroids from a few minutes back is now your bitch, and you'll soon realize that the game is going from hell yeah, I'm a shark, look at my jaws, to yeah, I'm a shark, look at me, yum 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 yum, I'm biting you, ha 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 ha, yeah. The coolest thing you can still encounter at that point are the apex predators, which are just the same animals you already fought against, but now cooler and stronger, and they're definitely not another fish pun or reference to something, because this is the first time I've ever seen a white sperm whale. The only thing I still really want to show is the fact that you can get on land for a short amount of time, and it's pretty much one of the funniest things in the game since the whole shark just suddenly decides she's made out of pudding every time she hits the ground. But now I'm going to talk about the things that I actually started playing this game for, and that's the Easter eggs. Because there are a lot of Easter eggs in this game, and I mean a lot. I want to start off with the fact that I'm not going to cover all the fish puns and what they are references to, because then this whole video would be pretty much 30 minutes of me showing fish puns and also me editing a gradually harder laughing audience underneath it. Wait a second, that might actually be a great idea. Third gay feminism.
Third gay feminism.
Seal their fate.
Oh my god, yeah.
Seal their fate.
Oh my
A
god, yeah.
turtle disaster. But now for the actual Easter eggs and references. I wanted to start off with the fact that this game is completely filled with music references, which are pretty much also puns. But I like music and this is my video, so f*** you. Most of these references can be found as names of missions like Good Day Sunshine and A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles, Barracuda, which is pretty much just a reference to Barracuda by Heart, Killer Queen by Queen, Whole Lotta Rosie by AC/DC, Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin, Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, Walk This Way by Aerosmith, I'm a Slave for You by Britney Spears, and maybe Tighten Up by the Black Keys, and Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Nugent. Also you have Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea, but you can decide for yourself if this is the George Harrison, the Ella Fitzgerald, or the Gab Calloway version. I don't know, I'm not a genius. Then you have Make Love Not War, which was already a statement in the 60s, but then was used by John Lennon a lot and also in the song Mind Games. And last but not least, you have this description of the guy with the goatee, I forgot his name. And you can see it's a reference to Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Are Made for Walking. Then apart from music, you also have a lot of references to movies, series and books in these titles. Like A Bigger Boat, which references Jaws. A Brave New World, The Parent Trap, probably Birds of Prey, I don't know. Big Mama's House, Happy Days, What's Up Doc, Night at the Museum, Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis, I still don't know if I pronounce that correctly. And the play Anything Goes, or it could be the song by Guns N' Roses or Cole Porter or whatever. I'm still not a genius, look it up yourself. But those are just the mission titles. But there are a lot of Easter eggs to be found within the world of this game. And first off, let's talk about the nice addition of this game, just having most Easter egg being shown as landmarks within the game. This makes finding them a lot easier and a lot more fun, because every time you find one, you get a nice story by the narrator, who, by the way, is Chris Parnell, the voice actor who voices Jerry in Rick and Morty. And with that knowledge, let's talk about the first Easter egg, which is actually a Rick and Morty Easter egg.
Even the self-driving technology of Gazorpazorp is not without its reliability concerns.
The Gazorpazorps are a fictional race of aliens within the series, and the UFO that's lying on the seabed here is probably a reference to the one Rick invented. And while we're at it, let's talk about every other reference and Easter egg this game has to television series or movies. On this tiny little island you can find a reference to the movie Castaway, and you can actually find Wilson the volleyball sitting on the raft. You can find a banana stand from the television series Arrested Development. You can actually find SpongeBob's Pineapple House. And when you're swimming through the sewers, you can find this clown, which is of course a reference to Pennywise from the movie It. But f*** these Easter eggs, because every fucking game has them and they're so stupid. At least it's not a red balloon in this one, but still, f*** them. You can find this reference to Titanic, of course, because that has never been done before as well. Fuck these things, f*** Titanic. You can find an actual nice Easter egg, a reference to the movie Demolition Man. You can find the Threemaran from the movie Waterworld, which apparently did just as well as the movie itself. You can find this hatch, which keeps the kaiju out, which are actually the monsters from the movie Pacific Rim. When finding a treasure hidden inside a cave, you see the sentence, "This belongs in a museum," which is a reference to Indiana Jones. Down here you can find an Easter egg that is talking about Captain Eyeliner, which is of course a reference to Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. You can find these hockey sticks on a golf course, which reference Happy Gilmore, one of those rare movies where Adam Sandler is actually funny. And finally, when you're in the bayou, you can find this crocodile with a clock in its mouth. This is a reference to the movie Hook, but that actually only makes me sad because I miss Robin Williams.
There is a very real risk of drowning while surfing, but at least you'll leave behind a cool-looking skeleton.
So those were pretty much all the references to movies and TV series, but there are still a lot of things to be found in this game. For instance, Tiger Woods is making a cameo in this game by crashing his car into a billboard. People still don't like the band Nickelback.
Port Clovis considered removing these naval mines after the war, but the city had already spent its annual budget booking a Nickelback cover band for the 4th of July.
Jerry really doesn't like T-Rexes.
If a T-Rex is your favorite dinosaur, then you're boring and unoriginal and you need to pick a different favorite dinosaur.
And he's absolutely right about it. Street artist Banksy appears to be making shark-related art now. And the tire guy mascot from Michelin seems to have hit rock bottom. You can also find the remnants of the most stupid festival ever, Fire Festival.
Believe it or not, people paid over $12,000 to sleep in these tents and listen to Swedish DJs for an entire weekend.
Somebody apparently really wanted to play Subnautica instead of being a shark. You can find this giant ocean floor plug, which is probably another reference to SpongeBob in the episode The Great Drain. Both Stonehenge and the Statue of Liberty have gotten a new watery home, and of course the Illuminati is here, because they are everywhere. And while we're at the subject of goofy little secret clubs, you can also find a lot of references to Cthulhu. Finally, you can find these heads.
Port Clovis City Council never misses an opportunity for cross-franchising.
These are actually characters from the game Killing Floor, which is a previous game of developer Tripwire Interactive. And talking of Killing Floor, you can also find the Horzine logo underneath the water and also right here on this skyscraper. The last thing I want to show you, which I know is actually a reference to something, is this pig's head on a spike, which is a reference to Lord of the Flies. And then you have this aquatic theme park kind of thing, which is probably SeaWorld. And then you have all these other things that could be references to something, but I'm not sure, like these two people having a very long date, and these guys who don't know how to handle their guns, and this crime scene which has like a very small part within the story. They're still to be found and they're still fun, but I'm not sure they're Easter eggs or references to anything. So that about wraps up this whole game. I personally really liked it because it was short and it was fun, and it, like I said, didn't overstay its welcome. It's just nice to play, and it's a lot of fun to see the Easter eggs and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm planning on doing a lot more videos like this. If you liked it, then like and maybe subscribe on my channel. That's weird to say. That's the first time I'm saying that. Feels weird. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in next videos I'm going to make. Bye!